Sitting on my bed, looking out my window at the rain, I'm thinking, man, all this is really getting me down. I lie back, roll on my side, and hug myself, seeking comfort. But I find no comfort. I'm just alone. I think, I need, I need diversion. I need love. I flip on InVision and open Inya. The female helper says, select game style. The familiar options are doing nothing for me. Het males, het femmes. Oh man. I select other. Helper wants to know what kind of other. I say something like ice. You mean real cold? Ice cold? Yeah, frigid cold. Helper says, I'm checking style for frigid. No frigid. Nada. I can give you hot. I have tons of what's hot. No. How about spicy hot? Hey, check out this little jalapeñita. No. How about front burner hot? Crab cooker hot? Hotter than a pistol? I tell her, that's not what I'm needing right now. She insists, hot is very popular. Most guys can't get it hot enough. No, I need frigid. Maybe I could interest you in warm then, as in warm and cuddly? I have a whole slew of huggables, and once you're all warm and snuggly, no, I need frigid. Now I'm more frustrated than ever. I tell her, hey, what kind of sex program are you anyway if you don't have frigid? The helper gets defensive. Well, I'm sorry I'm having difficulty turning you on, Mr. Vanilla. Would you like to file an incident report? I want you to know that your yearnings are very important to me. I'm always on the lookout for ways to maximize consumer satisfaction. I've looked through every style that's ever been asked for by anybody, but this? No one has ever asked for a frigid plaything. I click off Inya and close my eyes. I try to summon up the memory of ice in the park. Her cold, blue-white skin, the way she was transformed when she knew, that I understood her perfectly. I miss her so much. Maybe I should eat something, even though I'm not really hungry. I sit up and stare at the fast food boxes on the bed between my legs. I scan the ingredients. Bomb burrito. Corn beans, corn rice, corn tortilla, corn syrup, corn-fed meat, chicken, fish, beef, pork, assorted flavorings, yada yada yada. Fun factor 7.8. Okay. Sushi me, corn rice, corn-fed fish, corn syrup, simulated seaweed. Food fun factor 6.2. Burger meat, corn-fed beef, ketchup. You know, ice was pretty definite. Steer clear of the corn. I get a call from Vito with Data Helper. Listen, Vinny, they're on Stickman like blowflies on roadkill. The questions just keep coming. If it's not the mayhem, it's gas jams or the starving billions, sinking cities, disappearances, or some dumb plague or war or whatever. Bottom line, the president is dying for lack of cover. If he doesn't get some cover quick, he won't be president at all, let alone president for eternity. She asks Data Helper to show diversionary options. The head of a man in a ski mask is shown. She says, it looks like Doom Man is trying to draw our fire. I offer, can't they just take him out? With all the intelligence at our disposal, they must know where to find him. Of course we know where to find him. We've always known where to find him. We've got him trapped at the bottom of a rat hole. Killing Doom Man would be child's play. But killing him isn't the problem. It's not? No, the problem is what would come after. But wouldn't killing him reduce the mayhem? Sure, maybe a smidge, but let's stay focused on the main point here. I offer, of course, the saving of innocent lives. So, okay, she says. Just for the sake of argument, let's say saving lives is important. And say we take Doom Man out, or capture and display him in a show trial. Big deal. But then what? Hoping not to appear too simplistic, I say, then he wouldn't be able to kill any more people. Good jazeera, Vinny. There are thousands of attacks by thousands of mayhem artists every hour of every day all over the world. So we snuff out this one killer, and Stickman gets to make a big speech about it. That would be very positive, I say. Sure, but then what? What's our next move on the board? You see, it really doesn't matter what you do to Doom Man because everyone knows the mayhem is going to keep right on trucking. And where does that leave the president? With the same old egg on his face, and what good is that? I offer. But even if one life can be saved. Precisely, says Vita. What's one lousy life? So let's put this in perspective. As far as the media makers are concerned, Doom Man is just a drop in the bucket. They're looking for stories they can really sink their teeth into, and right now, that story is all about sticking it to Stickman. No, Vinny. Taking out Doom Man won't buy us diddly squat. He's not our numero uno. We need a better fish to fry. She tells Day to help her to show numero uno. We see Dr. Bull with a bag on his head. The recording of the Bullman says, and here's something else. You know all those boogeymen the president talks so much about? Well, they're really not so hard to find. You just have to know where to look. Vita says, this hooded Dr. Smartass is the problem. I object. But that's not even a real mask. It's a kidnapper's sack with cut-out peekaboo holes. And what about the real mayhem artists? Vita says, you're missing the whole point. This masked media big mouth is taking pop shots for free at the leader of the free world, and that's got to stop. I want you to get the poop on him, Vinny. And I'm talking real poop. The worst kind of poop. Do you hear me? I say, he's just a talk show guy. I mean, all he does is talk. And that's how you're going to nail him. If you ever hope to travel anywhere ever again for the rest of your life. After considering my limited options, I make a call. Hello? Dr. Bull? My name is Vinny Vanilla. He says, you're the guy that got skinned on InVision. I say, I was wondering if we could talk. He says, go ahead, talk. I mean in person. Listen, I design games and I was thinking of how we might incorporate you in a new game. An opportunity to build your brand. Dr. Bull says, okay. Back in the flea market, I'm having a hard time getting through the crowd. The alley is jammed with people pushing and shoving, carrying containers of all sizes on carts, wheelbarrows, bicycles, wagons. Some with just empty bottles and milk jugs hanging from around their necks, all hoping for whatever black market gas they might be lucky enough to come away with. At the front of the mob is the kiosk of the old lady candy seller, now bearing a sign, Bug Juice Unlimited. She's taking in chump change hand over fist. I see Flamer Man in line, empty bottle in hand. He sees me and looks at his feet. He's dirty and unshaven, greasy hair. "Hey, what's up?" I asked. He stares at his feet. The rims of his eyes are lined in red. I tell him, "You don't look so good." "Hard times," he says through pinched lips. I offer commiseration. "Hey, don't I know it?" He raises his eyes and says, "I need gas for my cooker. Haven't sold a unit in weeks. You don't suppose you can lend me a little chump change? For the barbecue? For old time's sake?" Oh, this is so sad. I mean, one of my very best friends. He looks like a beggar. And I can remember when I was asking him for money. Oh well, let bygones be bygones. After all, he is a friend. I reach in my pocket and find I'm all out of chump change. So instead, I offer him my hand. He looks at my empty hand and turns his back on me. "Sorry, man," I say. "Hey, well look, be sure to say hi to my pub buddies, will you?" But he doesn't answer. He just blends in with the other lowlifes and disappears. Man, that is so sad. I'm trying to find my way through the crowd to the place where the bull guy said to meet him. "This way," says Dud Meat. I follow his image through the booming dog food market, populated with hooked sides of canine ribs, legs, shoulders, and chops. Puppy tails are bunched like bananas. A boy hawking fillets tells a passerby, "Wolfhound sweetbreads. It doesn't get any better than this." I see the kid Dog Bait standing next to an assortment of chopped meat, holding a fly swatter like a toy rifle. "Hey," I say to her, "remember me?" "Sure. You're the guy that almost got me killed." "I guess so. So, you still chasing strays?" She flattens a fly. "Nope. That's all behind me now. I'm looking to get into the restaurant business." I laugh. "By swatting flies? Gotta start somewhere." "How's your pup?" She tells me, "Evil isn't a pup anymore. Been eaten like the devil. Hearts, livers, and kidneys, whatever I can snitch for him. Growing into a real cannibal animal. Hey, you want to buy some dog meat?" I hold up a hand. "I don't eat dog." She just smiles. I wave my hand at the flies and make a joke as I leave. "Don't let the dogs eat you," she replies. "Not if I can eat them first." I follow Dud Meat deeper into the flea market. A reflection off metal catches my eye. Chrome spikes floating above the heads of the crowd. I tell Dud Meat, "That's my sister with the albino. What's she doing with him? Look at her, talking a mile a minute." I try to tune them in on my N-Vision, but the surveillance here is flaky. She sure is giving him an earful. Whatever she's saying, he seems to agree with her. I hang back at a distance as they move deeper into the flea market. I tell Dud Meat, "I don't think I've been in this part before." "No, you haven't." The spikes disappear around a corner. "I lost them. Where'd they go?" He says, "Into the geekery." Inside, the light is dimmer. I tell Dud Meat, "The trash in here are different from regular trash. Look at them. It's like they're doing things to themselves. And all the regular people just passing them by. Look at that guy over there, in the dirt, with his legs crossed. My God! He's sticking something into his eye. Holy Jazeera, it's bloody and oozing. This is awful. Do you see that?" The guy that's screaming bloody murder? I can't believe it. He's actually sticking something right in his own eye. What is he doing? Don't ask me. Ask him. I walk over and hunch down in front of him. His one good eye is weeping. What are you doing? I ask him. Aside from his sobbing, he answers me very matter-of-factly. I'm sticking a piece of glass in my eye. Isn't that horribly painful? Yes, he says as he presses the glass into his eye again, moaning deeply. Why are you doing that? To see if anyone will notice. I've been doing it all week, and you're the first person to even notice. I tell him, you know, it's okay to be seen, but doing this? You're certainly going to get noticed sooner or later. And to get noticed for this? That would not be good. Not good at all. You know, you're only hurting yourself. He says, you're very observant. Well then stop it. Easy for you to say, he says, gashing his eye again. Stop it, I yell. Okay. And then what after I stop? Tell me, then what? Well, you won't be hurting yourself for one thing. But then I'll be like I was before, and that was even worse than this. At least this way, I feel something. You can't just go on hurting yourself. Why not? How long are you going to keep this up? Instead of answering, he jabs the glass into his eye again and makes this long, drawn-out sound as he sucks in air. I feel like there's nothing left to say, so I grab his wrist. He doesn't even resist me. His arm is limp. Oh, thank you, he says, attempting to kiss my hand. I pull back. He asks, how long do you intend to prevent me from hurting myself? He grabs hold of my shoulders and confides, I want you to know I can wait as long as you can. Well, I can't stay here much longer. He begins to sob again and tells me, that's what I was afraid of. I release his wrist and he gouges his eye again. This time biting his lips so hard the cry is entirely stifled. I grab his wrist again and she challenges me. So? I fling his hand away and walk off, commenting to Deadmeat, oh man, I don't know. Nearby the man with the gouged eye, I come across a woman hanging by her hair that's knotted over a spike stuck in the wall. She's wearing a simple smock, her toes kicking feebly in the vacant air above the ground. Below her is a chair tipped on its side. She's waving her arms above her head, grasping desperately for something to pull herself up with, but there is nothing within reach but her own hair. The dim alley is crowded with people passing by her. She whimpers quietly, I can't. I set the chair aright, grasp her around the waist, and stand her up. Her knees start to buckle, and I lift her up again. She digs her fingers into her scalp, her copious hair still looped over the spike on the wall. I ask, why were you hanging by your hair? To see if anyone would notice. I noticed, I tell her. Yes, you saved me. Thank you. I'm so grateful. It was hurting so much. You can't begin to imagine. I ask, why are you doing this? I'm borderline suicidal with fantasies of hanging myself. Her face lights up as she confesses, one of these days, with a rope, I'm going to step off this chair for real. And I know, I hope, that is, I pray, that just as my face is going blue, before I'm totally done for, someone is going to notice me and save me just in the nick of time, just like you did now for practice. I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful? To be saved like that? I ask, what if no one notices you? This possibility troubles her. That's the problem with the rope part. It's a gamble, isn't it? Because people really don't do anything. They just walk on by or say hurtful things like, "You're an idiot. Look at what you're doing to yourself." I tell her, "Well, I guess you've learned your lesson then." "Yes, it's been a revelation." "What have you learned?" "That it's all about not knowing." "That's what it's really about, isn't it?" "Well, it's good that you learned something. And now that you're back on your feet, you can unhook your hair and get off the chair." "But I still don't know for sure, do I?" "Know what?" "About all the others. I mean, you were so very kind. Maybe one in a million. But after I get off the chair, there will still be all that time left. All the time when I don't know if anyone else will ever notice me. It could be a lifetime. And no one ever notices me again." "Never mind that. Time to get down now." I reach for her hand and she pulls it behind her back. "Come on. I haven't got all day." "I don't think so," she tells me, and gives her hair a test tug against the spike in the wall. Walking away, I glance back at her, poised like a diver on a platform, arms raised, toes over the edge.